ngalweni ngiyokhalela bani nayi iphimbo lami liphindaphinde entabeni ngithi inyawo zami ngibeleze kulo mhlaba nemsindo ngifunana noxolo ey'ngalweni kukhala izimayemaye emzini kamkhulu umkhondolo usekhaya.
There's a question, and the question is, why was African Alkebulan genius hidden? Because a people disconnected from their intellectual inheritance will mistaken survival for limitation. Sawubona to you, sawubona to yours, from one great spirit to another. Welcome to Ubizo Daily. Today we continue dismantling a dangerous lie. The lie that Africa Alkebulan contributed very little to human civilization. The lie that intelligence came from elsewhere, Europe. That lie. The lie that African people were merely recipients of global innovation. That lie. Instead of architect of human advancement. Today, we speak about why Alkebulan genius was hidden and why stolen memory produces generations that underestimate themselves. Let's speak about the psychological function of erasure. Great Spirit, let us begin with honesty. History was heavily edited, not simply forgotten, edited, because if people knew the truth about Alkebulan brilliance, colonial superiority would collapse. And how do you justify civilizing people who already built advanced civilizations? How do you justify calling people primitive when they mastered architecture, medicine, astronomy, and mathematics long before colonizers arrived? You see, in their defense, erasure was necessary because truth threatened empire. Let's speak about mathematics long before what is now regarded modern Europe. You see, modern Europe has lied so much about our history and heavily edited it, whereas ancient African Alkebulan civilizations contributed significantly to mathematics. The Ishango bone, discovered near present-day Democratic Republic of Congo, reveals early mathematical understanding that predates many modern systems. Ancient Egypt developed advanced geometry. Why? Because architecture demanded precision. Engineering, on the other hand, demanded measurement. Agriculture demanded seasonal calculation. This was not accidental intelligence. This was structured scientific thinking. And yet millions were taught that mathematics as though Africa, Alkebulan, was absent from its evolution. Let's speak about architecture that defied colonial narratives. Before we go into even too far, let's look at our neighbor, the great Zimbabwe. Massive stone architecture built without modern mortar. Let's look at the pyramids of ancient Egypt and Kingdom of Kush. Let's look at the engineering sophistication of Timbuktu libraries and urban systems. Great spirits, let's look at indigenous architecture across Mali, Ethiopia, South Africa, and beyond. These were not accidents. They were expressions of advanced design thinking. But many textbooks reduced our architecture to mud art. That reduction was intentional for the story that they continue perpetuating today. As we continue this conversation, let's speak about astronomy and cosmic knowledge. Ancient Alkebulan societies studied stars with extraordinary precision. The Dogon people of Mali are often discussed for their astronomical knowledge. Ancient Egyptians aligned monumental structures with celestial bodies. Agricultural systems across the continent depended on advanced seasonal observation. Our ancestors, our people, they studied the skies because survival demanded cosmic literacy, and spirituality often existed alongside scientific observation. Yet, modern narratives have tremendously separated Alkebulan from scientific excellence. And just before we close, let's speak about why hidden genius create dependency. When children grow up believing that their ancestors created very little, if not nothing at all, they unconsciously lower their own expectations. They seek validation externally. They distrust indigenous solutions. They assume imported expertise is superior. And this is how dependency is maintained. You do not need chains when inferiority is deeply internalized. And in closing, great spirit, let's speak about reclaiming intellectual inheritance. This is not about romanticizing history, it is about restoring truth. Iqiniso. Study African Alkebulan civilizations, your history. Read from our scholars. Whilst you're at that, teach the younger generation our ways of science and the contributions of our ancestors. Protect your archaeological truth. And whilst you're there again, build innovation ecosystems and most importantly, understand that genius did not skip your bloodline. You descend from brilliant minds. You descend from builders, from thinkers, astronomers, engineers, architects, farmers, artists, strategists, and the future of Alkebulan requires descendants who remember. So today, ask yourself, what could you build if you fully believed your ancestors were intellectually extraordinary? Because stolen history does not only erase the past, it limits the future as well. And the restoration of Alkebulan genius begins when memory returns. Until next time, ubuhle, umusa, kanye nokukhanya ekuhambeni kwakho. Light, mercy, and blessings on your path. Ubizo Daily. The call continues.